welcome back via Zoom to our November show of What's Up Stratford. And joining me is Bill Rowson from the Stratford Symphony Orchestra. Bill, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Power of Zoom, you're either in British Columbia or you're in Parry Sound or you're in Stratford. So you're everywhere. And today we got you in the Power of Zoom in your car. Hey, Bill, what attracted you to Stratford originally?
Well, I had gone to see theater in Stratford, and it's a very charming town, and it's a very culture and arts forward town. I love the audiences there. I love the coffee shops, the restaurants. I've never not enjoyed my time in Stratford.
November 16th, tell us about your upcoming performance.
So we are featuring one of the great double bass players of the world, Joel Corrington. He's going to play the great double bass concerto, the Kusevitsky concerto, with us. Joel Corrington was, for years, the principal bass player of the Toronto Symphony. Then he became the principal bass player of the London Symphony in the UK, and also the National Arts Centre Orchestra here in Canada. He's just a legend in the bass community, and we're I'm really looking forward to featuring him. The artistry that he brings is second to none. But also on that program, the orchestra is going to play one of the one of the big great staples of the symphonic repertoire, and that is Dvorak's New World Symphony, the symphony he wrote in America in the late 19th century. And it has with it just a stunning slow movement that has one of the most famous melodies ever written for the solo English horn. And the first and the last movements are just this vivid, energetic, expansive portrayal of an old European compositional master's view of the New World. And we haven't played it in a long time, and I really am looking forward to getting all the players in the room and rehearsing it and getting it all put together.
What do you attract such powerhouses to Stratford?
Well, so I'll tell you, and this is something that only happens in Stratford. How how we got Joel Corrington to come down is we had a bass player move to Stratford. His name's Dan Armstrong. He played for years in the Chicago Symphony, one of the top 10 orchestras of the world. And he and his wife, Judith, they're lovely, and they retired, and they decided they wanted to retire to Stratford. And Dan got a bit, he got wanted to keep playing a bit. So, of course, I would said, come on over. Chicago Symphony bass player in our little regional orchestra. That sounds terrific. And he is terrific. And he immediately got on with our principal bass player, Luke Machaut. And it turns out they both know Joel Corrington. So through those channels, we reached out. And to my pleasant surprise, Joel's like, I'd love to. Let's do it. Stratford, no problem. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
As a conductor, tell me one of the biggest highlights you've ever had as a conductor in your history.
So I've had a couple of ways, a couple of lenses you could put on this. I've often written my own music and had a chance to perform it and be there in front of the orchestra. I will say actually though that's particularly rehearsing your own music. It's a fine wire to balance on. Um, I had a real highlight last September. We did the Beethoven Fifth Symphony at the beginning of our season this year. And there are moments in a performance where everything gels, and the sound is there, and the worries that you've had in rehearsal and the sort of waves you've practiced surfing and getting over and landing, and they all came into place. And I thought the SSO just soared. It was marvelous. It was marvelous. And those kinds of moments, the more you have them, the more it sustains you, and because it is, of course, music I've loved for decades, right? And to stand on a podium and hear it played like that right in front of you, I mean, it's an experience I wish I could share with everyone, but it's something I can enjoy for myself. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Bill, thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you in a black tie with tails on November the 16th in Stratford. Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up next is Al Wakeland, new author in Stratford.